Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Pipeline Podcast. I'm your host, Jared, also known as One Up Muffin, and with me today is...
Your other host, James, also known as James.
Fantastic. And a special guest today. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, this is Gartooth here. You guys can just call me Gar.
Sounds good, Gar. So for this week, we'll be having a very casual episode. We're going to kind of do a brief update on what we've been playing. Since it's kind of the slow month for gaming, there's definitely stuff in the later half of this month that we'll talk about. But, you got to get to your backlog now. And then the second part of the episode will be what we're excited about in 2022 in the world of gaming, not just everything, because that would take all day. So... who has been playing some exciting things recently that they want to shout out?
I mean, I guess I can start. I just finished a game called Blue Reflection, which is not on the Switch, but its sequel is, and that game is quite bad, but in kind of like weird and interesting ways. Like they made an attempt at making something different, and it didn't quite land in almost any way.
Is it a visual novel?
No, it's a JRPG, but it's... So I'm going to try to succinctly describe how this... Like, you know how a regular JRPG works, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
You're set down in a field, and you go visit towns, and you go in dungeons or whatever. Or maybe they're more like Persona, where you follow a day-to-day thing and do random dungeons on some days, and on some days not. Mm-hmm. In this game, you basically just run around doing a bunch of side quests until a boss fight triggers. And when you do a side quest, you get randomly thrown into the world, and you have to kill a certain number of enemies or pick up a certain number of items, and then that's it. You leave the world, and that side quest is done. And once you've done enough of those, you can progress to the next boss fight. It's a very strange structure that gets very repetitive, very fast. There's only 4 different areas that you go into visually, and the game's not very good looking. The character models look pretty good, the rest of the game looks pretty bad. It's mostly a story. I think they were apparently the RPG part was added in the last, third of development, so it's mostly a story.
Oh, that's really funny.
That they started with.
Why not just make it a visual novel?
Yeah, I really don't know. Honestly, I don't know the details there. Music's very good. I'll give it that. The progression system is interesting, but you never have to do it because it's a very easy game. I had a character get KO'd twice, and I never, lost, so... I wouldn't really recommend this game in particular, but from what I've looked at of the sequel, it apparently fixes a lot of the problems that this game had in a lot of very smart ways. And I'm looking forward to giving that a shot. And I would recommend that if you like weird, different JRPGs, to maybe look into Blue Reflection 2 as well. And it is on the Switch. I wouldn't bother with the first game, though.
Do you think the story will be integral, or not
really? From what I understand, you are fine without playing the first one. I don't think they expected very many people to have played the first one with the second one.
Okay, my cat is currently trying to bat at my speaker cord. She needs to go away.
No, that's fair. She's the weeaboo police. She's like, shut up.
She's just very impatient.
You talked about this anime game you've talked about this anime game for long enough. Other than that, I've just been playing Halo Infinite's multiplayer, which is very fun.
Oh, nice. I need to get back to that. I'm kind of just waiting for new maps at this point.
Yeah, no, the maps that are there definitely, they're definitely getting a little bit stale. Do you know what it looks like? Like the content map or whatever?
No,
they
haven't talked about
days?
it yet. They've been pretty quiet. They've been mostly just focusing on fixing the progression stuff. But I mean, there was a leaked image I saw of a bunch of in prototyping maps, and it looked like there was some cool stuff there. One of
Okay,
them
that's
was a
cool.
remake of Halo 3's Epitaph, and there were some
Oh.
other neat maps there.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, they definitely. That game could definitely use it, but what's there is still pretty fun, especially the
Yeah.
capture
Oh,
the
it's really
flag
good.
mode.
hmm There's even like other modes that they just aren't in the game yet. Like there's achievements for like elimination mode
Oh, cool. Yeah.
that's just not in there. It's like rare achievement
It's
elimination
so
mode. It's like it's rare because it's not possible to get.
that's so weird that the state that game released in.
Yeah, it's definitely
Not that it's like an unsalvageable
No.
state or anything. It's just a very strange.
No, the core is really good. It's just
It gives the sense that like maybe it still wasn't ready, but they don't have a choice.
and Gartooth, what are you playing recently?
Yeah, so I gave into the temptation and got the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. And what I've been digging into has been the Sega Genesis collection. So I really don't have much experience with the Genesis or Mega Drive as they call it elsewhere. The only ones I've really played in the past were like Sonic games, so this has been a pretty cool experience. Got to discover a lot of classics. Particular shout outs to Streets of Rage 2, which I absolutely love. I finally understand the hype about that game's soundtrack. And then another
Yes, it
one
was
that
very good.
a favorite of mine is also Gunstar Heroes.
Yep, fantastic game.
Mixing and matching the weapon types. And then I would have one, and then I would just say, like, okay, you know what? This is my favorite weapon type in the game. I'm going to stick with it all the way through.
Yeah. There's some, like, amazing bosses in that game. Like, just really, really imaginative stuff.
Oh, yeah. That, I forget what it is. I think there's one boss that's like a board game that you have to move around. I think it's Black. Is the name of the boss that you have to do that, and that was a pretty fun one. I guess trying to figure out, okay, am I gonna land on what challenge am I gonna land on? That kind of randomness, but yeah. And then there's
That's clever.
the minecart stage where you can like jump upside down and run around, run along the walls, or flip back and forth, and the bosses make use of that. Just a lot of really cool.
Yeah, that's the boss that sticks out to me the most. That it like transforms and like hits you from like everywhere. Did you play Dynamite Heady yet?
I have not. I haven't gotten to the new
it's
round.
Phenomenal. I would say that and Rystar are my my favorite games that are on the service currently. The Genesis one.
Rystar has incredible music and animation. I'm not as big on its gameplay, but the expressiveness of the characters for a Genesis game is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's really impressive. Like it's one of the prettiest games on there.
Definitely.
If you ever get to the N64 stuff, I think Operation Winback is more fun than it has any right to be.
I have not gotten much of Winback. I think I played like 5 minutes of it and then decided that I was going to try tackling Yoshi's Story and Sin and Punishment, because I haven't touched either of those in a while.
Yeah. They're both good. I need to get more Sin and Punishment. Just the controls are a little weird, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, the controls of it are a bit weird, but I think there's a workable setup there if you try and get it. But yeah, it definitely takes some getting used to, especially when the game starts asking you to parry, enemy attacks with the sword strikes, and I'm like, wait, what am I doing again? So.
Yeah, anything else, or mostly just the old games right now?
Well, I might get booed off the server for this, but I've also been playing quite a lot of Mario Kart Tour.
I also play Mario Kart Tour. I need to finish this current one.
Yeah, I took a break from Mario Kart Tour for I think most of the year, but every once in a while I pop back in to see what's new, and I think the last couple tours I've checked out were the Kamek Tour, and of course this latest one where they added 3DS Bowser's Castle along with Cat Rosalina.
It's a good map.
Yeah, Cat Rosalina and Meowser as characters, and I managed to pull Meowser. So
yeah, I got like I think the Meowser Kart, but not, or no, I think maybe the Paraglider, one of those. Not the character though. Yeah, I only go on once in a while, but I do want to get. I think there's some character that you can get if you get every like the New Year's challenge done.
I believe they have a challenge card for Pauline right now, and if you get enough green coins in the shop, you can get Dixie Kong. But
yeah, I got Dixie. I won't have enough for the carts. But I forget what that character was. It wasn't Pauline.
Was it a variant of a character?
Yeah, I'm quickly loading the game up to see which one it was. It was. Oh no! It was just money. I'm not gonna be able to get that white Yoshi one. That's too hard. But yeah, that's a fun game. I do enjoy it once in a while.
Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure.
I have also been playing mostly old games. Actually, almost exclusively old games. So the one non-Nintendo one, I keep getting distracted from Skyward Sword by playing The Witcher 3. Those are both like third-person action games. They kind of like steal each other's time. I really want to focus on Zelda and get that done. It's a big game. I'm like at the part where you have to like go into like the spirit world and kind of like collect like 10 gems before like these guardians like attack you.
The stealth sections. Mm-hmm. Are you on the first one of those?
Yeah, I'm just the first one of those.
Is this?
I need to get back to that.
Is this your first time playing Skyward Sword?
Yes, I got it day one on the Wii, and I think I only got 2 dungeons into it, so this is the farthest I've ever been. But I do enjoy it. Like I have some issues with it, but it's mostly fun. It's nice to play a very classic Zelda game coming off of like Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I don't know if this speaks for everyone, but for me certainly the changes in the Switch version are definitely appreciated. I noticed the pacing was a lot smoother this go around.
Yeah, and Fi is a lot less annoying. Though still bothers me, but less so.
Same here.
Just like every time there's like a new like rune she has to read, she just like dances around the screen and like slowly reads it out. It's like
you can read faster than this.
Does the ice skating really necessary?
Yeah, it is, dude. That's the art. That's the soul.
That's her whole character arc.
But way more important than Skyward Sword and The Witcher is that I installed a Virtual Boy emulator on my Oculus Quest. So I'm playing Virtual Boy games for the first time in virtual reality, which is pretty exciting. Most of them run pretty well. There's some audio issues. What do you say?
I said I would hope so.
Yeah, it's just the emulator things. Like, yeah, it's mostly good, but some games do have audio issues. And Nestor's Funky Bowling was like super speed, so that game was not playable. But I don't think I would want to play that game anyway, so I think I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you're probably good sticking with the like other 3 Virtual Boy games.
Yeah, the 3 I really liked from what I played just a little bit before I got on here. Jack Bros, which tricked me into playing a Shin Megami Tensei game.
Aha!
Very, very mad at them for that, but no, it's like a Shin Megami Tensei spinoff with the little Jack dude, Jack Frost, and you're in like this top-down like mazes, and you can like shoot enemies, and then you fall down in like 3D to like the next level of the maze.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird like roguelike type thing almost, kind of.
Yeah, it was good enough that I would go back to it. Like, I died at the first boss, so I'd try to beat the first level.
It probably has a pretty cool effect with a VR helmet on.
Yeah, it looks cool. Oh my god, I tried to play the 3D Tetris one. That game is garbage. It makes no sense. The 3D effect in that game is horrendous. Like, I had to mess with the settings so much, so it wouldn't just like give me a headache. Like, I basically just wanted to close one of my eyes during that game. Certain games, the 3D effect just looks atrocious, and I don't know if that's how it looked on the official console or not, but
it probably did, dude.
That game was eye destroying. The other cool one I played was Mario Clash for a few seconds. I need to get back to that. I feel like most people know Mario Clash if they know one Virtual Boy game.
Yeah, that or Wario Land or Mario Tennis.
Because at least 2 of those were in WarioWare before.
Yeah, it's
right.
Mario Clash. But the absolute coolest game I played, the last game I'll talk about for Virtual Boy, is called Innsmouth Mansion. Also referred to as Insane Mouse Mansion, though this one online article said that is a mispronunciation, and that Innsmouth Mansion is correct, based on like the Lovecraft story.
Yeah.
But it is a first person like shooter maze game with like a bunch of like alternating paths, which is very interesting. So like when you beat a level, you see like the Star Fox 64 style like maze of levels you can go to, and there's a lot of them. But you go through this. These mazes with the left stick, and the right stick is your aiming. So you're like aiming and shooting. It's kind of reminds me of. Do you know the 3D parts of the Friday the 13th game on NES?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that a tiny bit. But I think more fun, since I've heard that game is pretty bad.
I was gonna say, I would hope it's better.
Yeah, and I found this pretty fun. You like look around looking for ammo. I learned that there's a map in it, and you collect like map orbs, kind of like the compass in like Zelda, and then it'll like, show you to the ending. But each level you only have 30 seconds to find the end, so it's definitely you're trying to like sprint through these mazes. That is a very cool game. If you can try that on an emulator, definitely give that one a go.
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting, actually. Sounds very ambitious for a Virtual Boy game.
Yeah, and I think it only came out in Japan too, so even less people have played that one. I just quote unquote borrowed the entire library of Virtual Boy games legally, of course.
Yeah, sure.
So I've just been going through like every single one.
From
but enough about old stinky games. Let's talk about new games. And should we start with the big boy?
Do you mean Pokemon Legends Arceus?
No, but okay. Is
anyone here getting that? Did you mean Splatoon or Atelier Sophie 2?
Let's talk about Arceus. That's coming out soon.
Yeah, that's coming out in a couple weeks.
Are y'all getting that game?
Yeah, maybe not immediately, but I definitely intend to pick it up pretty soon after launch.
I'm not sure about getting that immediately. I'm still, again, another controversial Gartooth opinion, but I'm still enjoying the Generation 4 remakes. Because those games, I mean, this is a credit to the DS originals, but they have still a ton of post-game content that I've been going through. So, yeah, I guess for Arceus, it's just kind of when I'm hungry for, more Pokemon again, kind of thing.
That makes sense. You don't want to run yourself dry.
Right.
I'm on the fence about it. I like certain parts of it. I think going around the world and throwing the, like stealthing around and, like, throwing the Pokeballs seems cool. But I just need to, like, see more about, like, the entire structure. But if it does really well, I might try it. I don't know. It really depends. There's a lot coming out this year, and it's not Nintendo, but we're going to talk about it anyway, because it's the game everybody's talking about. The month after Arceus comes out is Elden Ring month, so I don't know if I want to buy any video games until that comes out.
Yeah, Elden Ring is definitely, that's the game of the first part of the year, right?
Yeah.
Like, that we know of. I mean, I guess there might be something that's not dated yet. We find out comes out in the first 2 or the first 3 months. I doubt anything would be coming out like this month or next month.
Yeah, maybe not this month or next month. I think Horizon 2 is pretty.
Oh, right.
It went gold, so that might come out in like April or something.
I think that does come out in March or late February.
I saw like some like Russian build, but like already got out there.
Oh wow, that sucks for them.
That's wild, yeah.
Bias definitely plays a part here. I like FromSoft games a lot, so I'm more excited for Elden Ring. I would say that Horizon 2 is probably the next biggest game that's coming out in the first quarter of the year.
But no, I agree. Elden Ring just looks fantastic.
It really does look like the next evolution of what they did with Dark Souls, like where Bloodborne and Dark Souls 2 and 3 were both just like kind of deviations and, just kind of doing the same thing again. There's like slight deviations from the same path, but not like super different. Sekiro was a pretty different game, but this seems more like an evolution of Dark Souls than Sekiro.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah. And if I trust any developer to make an open world interesting, it's FromSoft.
Yeah,
I'm definitely excited to see what they can do with that format.
Yeah, they have pretty excellent level design. So, Dark Souls 1 is kind of an open world in a few ways. It's a little bit non-traditional.
Yeah.
But most of that world is open from the very start, and a lot of it circles around on each other in like realistic, intelligent ways. So I'm hoping that you see a lot of that kind of stuff in Elden Ring.
Have you ever seen that NoClip website where you can like zoom around the Dark Souls 1 map?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Is that like a 3D map of Dark Souls 1?
Yeah. So this site called, I forget it's called, if you look up like NoClip maps, I'll try to find the link later. But it just has like a bunch of 3D models of different video game maps, and you can just like zoom around the entire things.
Oh yeah, that sounds pretty fun.
Really cool to see. Have you ever played any of the Souls games, Gartooth?
Yeah, I've played I played Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, and Bloodborne, and then I played part of Dark Souls 3, and at that point I kind of just fell out of rhythm with the series. It was right around when I was in college, so I was just like, you know what, I don't have time to spend my entire night dying to one boss, so I was like, I'm just gonna put this down on the shelf for a while, and then I never got back to it, so it does sound like, though, Elden Ring might be the one to get me back in. I've been keeping my eye on it. I haven't said like, oh, this is a game I must need to get this year, but at the same time, I'm definitely intrigued by it. It definitely seems to have a lot of that from software magic in it. So,
yeah, like the little clay pot person. So like all the memes. I've only played like a few of them. I've beaten Dark Souls 3 and I've done most of Bloodborne, which I need to get back to. I need to play 1 someday. But I think we should go from that to the other gigantic open world game of the year, the Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which we've spoken about a lot in the past, so we don't need to harp on it too much. Obviously, I'm excited about it.
There's just not a lot to harp on.
Yeah, because we talked about the trailer. We're all excited about it. I just wanted to put that out there, you know?
Yeah, it's a game where I really don't need to see much of it to know that it'll be great. It's one of the few games where I'd have blind faith in it to not watch another video of it, and I would still buy it day one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But I kind of don't want to see anything.
Yeah,
either. Yeah.
I hope they give us an idea of how it's different from the first game, and then they just leave it at that. Like, don't show everything like that January 2017 trailer did for the first Breath of the Wild.
Another one that I'm looking forward to. I'm actually gonna we've actually spoken about a lot of the Nintendo ones. So we'll get back to those in a second. But another one I'm very curious about is Dying Light 2, because it's been delayed like 20 times. The first game was so good. Did either of you guys play the first one?
I did not.
I haven't either.
It's now on the Nintendo Switch, and I heard the port is pretty good. That first game is it's not like quote unquote just another zombie survival game. It's a pretty good one of those. The melee weapon combat feels really solid and meaty. Like just smacking a zombie upside the head with like a wrench feels nice. And in the later part of the game, you get a grapple hook. So get a grapple hook, fly around, smash zombies in the face.
Is it on Game Pass?
It's not on Game Pass. It usually goes for like $10 or $15 on like every sale though.
I'll keep an eye out. I'll check it out maybe.
It's good.
I'd probably play something like that on PC, not Switch, but
yeah, if you can play it on a different system, definitely do that. But still, I heard the Switch one's not bad. Any other big games come to mind for y'all, Nintendo or not?
Splatoon.
They've showed we have no idea what the single player is going to be like.
I'm sure.
I hope it's. Do you think
I'm sure it's just going to be another like loosely, not even loosely connected, just like not connected at all. Little platforming levels.
Yeah,
is really what I expect from it. They are fun.
They're fun. I would like something a little more ambitious, especially with like the first trailer they showed. But I'll still be happy with more Splatoon single player.
I think it would be really cool if they could just make a regular shooter campaign, but with Splatoon mechanics. The platformer stuff is neat, but imagine if they built like, I don't know, like Doom levels or something. Or like,
yeah, that could be fun.
Or like even like a Half-Life level. Like Half-Life 1, like big like maps that you go around. I don't know. People really like Octo expansion, and I thought it was alright. Like the levels were fun, but it was still just kind of like the same thing as Splatoon 1 and 2 were like level wise. Mm-hmm. The stuff in between the levels was better. I'll give them that for sure. Like the actual story was told in a better way. But the game itself was just like the same stuff again, just with like slightly better ideas. Yeah. I would really like to see them do something a little bit crazy with the Splatoon single player.
Yeah, that's what I would like to see too, because they showed like the little buddy dude in the first trailer. That you like customize your little buddy. So I would hope they come into this single player at least a little bit.
Yeah, that's something I wonder is I remember that first trailer. There's that shot in the trailer of the Inkling walking through like this wide panning desert. It looks like to get to a bus station. And in those shots, I think some of the reactions from back then was whether they were going to be, bringing the single player to the next level or something like that. But it's hard for me to tell if that's just kind of like for lack of a better term, like a walking segment, a story segment, rather than like an actual level you can run through. But I do think single player is an area of Splatoon where they can really surprise us with the sequel. Also with the little buddy, and if they can do anything interesting with I think they're called mammals or mammalians, something like that. If they can do anything cool with like a new enemy type. But yeah, I'm curious about it. I don't have sky high expectations for the Splatoon 3 single player campaign. But I think regardless it'll be an enjoyable ride.
It is interesting that they're going like with the whole chaos ending thing. Like to the last Splatfest Chaos 1 or whatever. And they're doing that. Yeah. They're doing that meme again. Like
it's cool to see like that desert theme, and I hope that leads to some a little more interesting levels. I really like the levels in Splatoon 1. I didn't love a lot of them in Splatoon 2, so I'm hoping they kind of can win me back.
Are you talking about the like multiplayer maps?
Yeah.
I thought the maps in 2 were really good.
Maybe play-wise, I just like how the first ones like looked more. They're like more like outdoor maps. They're a little brighter.
Yeah, I could see that.
2 had a lot of like indoor ones that were kind of boring, at least to look at. But I need to play more Splatoon 2. I like that game.
It's a good game.
Yeah, it's a good game, and I'll buy the sequel. Do we know about any more like any new multiplayer modes that they mentioned or no?
They haven't said anything really. They're still kind of in the dark about that game, which is kind of well.
Yeah.
No, it is weird because they did announce the whole like Squid Research Lab people were back or whatever, and I haven't seen like much out of that Twitter account like at all.
I keep wondering if there's some kind of twist to this game, either a new multiplayer mode or the single player campaign going in a different direction, but so far it's really hard to tell. Like, is there something they're hiding, or are they just being upfront about what kind of a game this is? And it's not like they haven't shown new things in the multiplayer. They've shown, like, I think something was like a crab tank, and another one had an inkling zipping around the stage like they're Spider-Man. So there's new things to play with, but I guess I'm just kind of wondering, where's the kind of Salmon Run, equivalent here.
Yeah, I really hope that's back. That co-op mode was really fun. Mm-hmm. I would love to see a new casual mode besides Turf War, because I feel like that's what most people play. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't even touch the ranked mode, so it would be cool if they gave at least like a second option, because they definitely have a big enough player pool for like a few more playlists in there.
They wouldn't even need playlists. I kind of feel like you could just have it like add Turf War to the hopper or whatever, and just have casual play do all the modes.
Yeah, though I don't know if I would trust like the Splatoon player base with like a team mode, like the clam football one. I think I'm the only person in the world that likes that mode.
Oh, I mean, sure. I mean, you kind of do that when you queue for competitive anyway, though, right?
Yeah, but when you play competitive, you at least have a little bit more expectations than people.
Sure. I just think that for the most part, you could throw those modes into casual play too, and it would be fine.
Yeah, that'd be fun. It would be nice if they could try something like that.
I think casual play in Splatoon is hurt a lot by it just being Turf War.
Yeah, because it gets old.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I want to try the other modes, but I don't want to go into ranked.
Yeah, exactly.
Face that stigma. Yeah, Splatoon 3. Next game is... I don't think there's much more to say about Kirby. Like, they haven't shown anything since that first trailer. Obviously, I'm still excited about it. But I don't have anything new to add.
I think, yeah, like 3D Kirby is a cool thing. And I think that doing it in a 3D world style is smart. Mm-hmm. Especially for a first try at it. Like, if they wanted to do a full 3D camera one at some point, too, that'd be good.
That would be cool. I'm surprised there's not co-op.
I mean, do we know that definitively?
I guess we don't. They could, like, surprise us with that.
Don't really know anything definitively yet. It's kind of weird. That game's only a couple months away, probably, and we don't know shit about it.
I'm curious about, like, the size of that game, and, like... Obviously, it's a Kirby game, so I expect it to be pretty easy. But if it's, like, easy versus, like, boringly easy...
Sure.
Two different metrics.
Yeah, that's something I wonder about, because aside from being easy, Kirby games are typically also pretty short. At least some of the more classic ones. So I hope this is a meaty single-player game, and not short. Like, I think Star Allies was, I don't know, a game you could finish in like 5 hours or something.
Yeah, and they added a lot of like post-game content to that, but at launch,
launch content. Yeah, I think Kirby. This is the time that they have. Going 3D is such a big step that this is really their best chance to capture people's attention and their imagination for what a Kirby game can be. So I really hope that they can nail the landing here.
Yeah, same. And it might be able to get, like, more lapsed fans like me back in.
Right.
Who haven't. I played the 3DS ones, though I haven't played much of the new Kirby games.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say Kirby usually is a pretty solid series, but to me there hasn't really been that kind of like a I don't want to say like mind blowing, but like something attention grabbing for me at least for quite a long time, where I'm just kind of like playing the game and something really just surprised me that happened and it just stuck in my mind. They always do a great job with the final bosses, and that's just kind of a Kirby staple, but it was funny because I was playing Star Allies and that final boss was like the thing I remember, and I barely remember the rest of the game. So just more kind of big moments like that throughout the game would be nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know a big complaint people had of the trailer, at least, was the worlds looked kind of empty. But I thought at least the backgrounds looked really good. It's a very pretty Switch game, though. Hopefully there's enough to do in each area. I would like to see some like hidden items and stuff. Does Kirby games usually have collectibles or no?
Yeah, I think Star Allies had these hidden puzzle pieces that you could use. If you get enough of them, you can make like complete a puzzle picture, and they had like different Kirby anniversary artwork. So things like that, or I can't remember. I think one of them, it might have been Return to Dreamland, had unlockable levels, I believe. I could be totally wrong on this because I haven't played that game in ages, but I think that's another option, is to pull the old Donkey Kong Country, and if you get all the collectibles in a stage, you can progressively unlock more stages.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Donkey Kong, do we believe any of the Donkey Kong rumors?
I want to.
I want to as well. I want to.
I like that ape, dude. He's cool.
I love Donkey Kong.
Those games are good.
Mm.
And the Nintendo making one internally could be it could be a disaster, or it could be very cool.
I mean, the last internal Donkey Kong was
both of these things, a disaster, but very good.
Oh, which one was that?
The Jungle Beat.
Yeah. Oh, Jungle Beat's a great game. It's not a disaster.
Yeah, it's kind of a disaster. They made that game about like smacking bongo drums to make Donkey Kong run. That's a disaster idea that worked out. Okay.
It worked out great.
It was.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's very cool. It's very good, but it's also a disaster.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun game, Jungle Beat, but it's not really the kind of white knuckle platformer that I expect from Donkey Kong. It was more of a like a rhythm action game or rhythm beat 'em up, which it was a weird combination. It totally worked. That game was really fun, especially the bosses, but it wasn't really the framework that Donkey Kong, is known for and, loved for.
I'll accept that, but it also still felt very distinctly like something Donkey Kong would be involved in.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, in terms of
felt
like the
right.
action. Yeah.
Like Donkey Konga didn't feel right. Donkey Konga felt wrong.
Donkey Konga 2 is so funny though.
Like Donkey Kong wouldn't listen to Good Charlotte, nor would he play bongos along to Good Charlotte.
You know who might though? Diddy Kong.
Yeah, maybe Tiny Kong. But Jungle Beat just felt right, and I don't think that. I think that Donkey Kong's the right character for that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Japanese, the Nintendo developed Donkey Kong I was thinking of was 94. Even though you don't play as Donkey Kong now.
Oh, fair enough.
That's the one that came to my mind.
How would you react if the next Donkey Kong game was a return to the classic style?
Like Donkey Kong 94-2?
Yeah.
I would love that. As long as it's not like one of those minis games, because I'd have to try them again. At least visually, those games looked atrocious. And I just didn't like their style as much as Donkey Kong 94.
Yeah, kind of the same. I mean, even Mario vs. Donkey Kong, I felt like was a step down from Donkey Kong 94. But I would love another classic Donkey Kong. I think there would be some pushback from fans just because, the first Donkey Kong in ages is a game where you don't actually
Mario game.
Right, you don't actually play as Donkey Kong, then some people will be upset. But
But that could be so cool in 2.5D.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough like big puzzle platformers. Like I don't think Nintendo really has many.
They haven't done one in a while.
I guess Captain Toad might kind of count.
Right, but that was what 2014 now. Yeah.
Yeah. What were you saying, James?
I would accept that kind of Donkey Kong game. That'd be fine. I would not prefer it, to be honest. That is, however, the opinion of someone who has not played Donkey Kong 94.
My god!
But I'm more interested in seeing Nintendo try to make a good Donkey Kong Country game.
You need to play Donkey Kong 94
oh yeah,
as soon as you possibly can. It's maybe one of the greatest video games of all time.
It's a game that it feels like it'll never end, but at the same time, I didn't want it to end. It's really good.
Yeah, each world is like very imaginative and so many cool ideas.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the list.
Yeah. Another rumored game, maybe it's just something people expect might happen soon, is a 2D Mario game, especially maybe in conjunction with the Chris Pratt Super Mario movie.
Yikes.
So cool.
Do we think 2D Mario has any chance of 2022?
I mean, it could.
It's a
I will never be surprised if you tell me there's a 2D Mario game coming out at any given time.
Mm-hmm. It's been a long time though.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could tell me at any point in time in the future that there's a Mario game coming out, and I'll be like, yeah, sure, of course. Why wouldn't there be?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think at Nintendo, they're probably doing both a 2D and a 3D Mario game in development at this point, and I'd have to think that they want to space the two games out from each other, rather than just having another year that it's just like, great year for Mario fans, not much for anyone else. If they make their big tentpoles of that year both a 2D and a 3D Mario, so I think they'd want to space them out. And I think a 2D Mario would be better. It would fit in nicer in the 2022 lineup because we already have a couple big 3D, action adventure kind of games coming up. So another Odyssey style Mario, might be better saved for when there's a gap in those kinds of games. But a 2D Mario would be nice counter programming, especially when I don't think Nintendo has made a new 2D game since Super Mario Maker 2.
Yeah, or Crafted World. I don't know which one came out later.
There was Metroid Dread, but we don't really count that as a platformer, right?
Maybe. Not fully.
Yeah.
But it's like it's like a big tentpole 2D release.
Right. Like, yeah, since Mario Maker 2, so it's been a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do we have any other Nintendo predictions for 2022?
Well, there's other games that we haven't covered yet, like Bayonetta 3.
Oh, yes, Bayonetta 3.
Which is probably going to be pretty rad.
Yeah.
I know it's had, like, kind of a seemingly weird history. Like, it got shown ages ago. Teased ages ago, really. And then not really shown off again until, like, what was it? This last Direct they had a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I have faith that Platinum's not gonna bungle Bayonetta because it's like their kind of their signature series,
Yeah, and I don't think Nintendo would let them mess this one up either.
I don't think.
I think that maybe at some point it may have been less than good, but I think whatever they end up shipping is probably going to be pretty, at least decent, Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bayonetta is a series kind of like Metroid Prime, where they aren't going to ship anything less than a great game. Like, they will never ship, a bad Metroid Prime. They canceled the original Prime 4 because it wasn't up to their standards. So I imagine Bayonetta is under similar, eyes of, like, this needs to be a great game that we're giving to our fans who waited, I don't know, when was that teaser trailer? 2017?
It was
so people waited 5 years for this game? Yeah, it has to be good.
Didn't Bayonetta 2 come out in 2014 as well. It's been a while.
Yeah, on the Wii U.
Yeah, Bayonetta 2 is, as of January 10th, 2022, like my favorite 3D like character action game. I absolutely love that title.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty high up there.
Revengeance is pretty good too, though.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game.
And then Triangle Strategy is just a couple months away.
Oh, it's soon. It's so pretty. Like, I don't think I'd play that game for the gameplay, but it does look.
You're not a Final Fantasy Tactics fan?
I do. So I like those kind of games. I just always fall off them pretty quickly.
Fair enough.
But I do like that style of tactics. So I'm hoping that ends up being a really good one, because it reminds me of the old stuff like Hoshigami and Final Fantasy Tactics.
There is an embarrassment of strategy games coming to the Switch this year. That's something we haven't touched on, because aside from Triangle Strategy, there's also just 1 month later there's Advance Wars coming to the Switch, and then there's Mario and Rabbids coming to the Switch.
Yep.
Mario and Rabbids 2 looks cool. I like what they've done with the gameplay changes there.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because rather than building on the framework of the original, it seems like they just decided, you know what, we're gonna surprise people and go for a different kind of game, which I actually think is really cool. Just kind of an unexpected sequel. The first one had
it's kind of like the old style sequels, like Zelda 1 to Zelda 2.
Right. Yeah, like there's still strategy games featuring Mario characters and Rabbids with guns, but like the first one was kind of a grid-based tactical game, while this one seems to have real-time elements. Like you can freely move your character as long as they're in a certain field based on how far their movement can stretch. So I am curious how they work with those real-time elements into the game.
Yeah, the first one was XCOM, and this one is like Valkyria Chronicles.
Yeah,
so it's definitely cool for them to take different strategy inspirations. Do we think there's going to be a Fire Emblem this year?
There could be. I mean, it is kind of curious what Intelligent Systems has been up to for a while.
Feels like we're due for one.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like we're due for one. I know the rumors that were all flying around were about a remake of what was 4, I think, Genealogy of the Holy War, or I think that's the name.
Is that like a Super Nintendo game?
Yeah, it's one of the ones that didn't come out here prior.
That would be cool, because I actually like the old style of those. Like,
yeah,
I thought
same.
Three Houses was cool, but I got kind of bored. It's just so big and so much talking.
There is a lot of talking.
Yeah,
a lot of anime
someday,
words.
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance that it's this year, just because I don't think 2021 had anything Fire Emblem related coming out. And that's usually a series that gets a game, every couple years. Like, even going back to, 2019 obviously had Three Houses, but then 2020 had the Tokyo Mirage Sessions port, and then it had the NES Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon translation release for the anniversary.
Oh yeah, that was a strange one.
Yeah. And then also the Three Houses, what is it? Ashen Wolves DLC expansion. That was also 2020. So it definitely seems like a strong possibility that we see Fire Emblem this year.
It'd be just add to the glut of tactics game.
Yeah.
Nintendo used to have too many 2D platformers. Now it has too many tactics games.
Yeah, and they might have a big JRPG this year as well, if the Xenoblade rumors are true. So they seem like they're very strong rumors.
Yeah, that's not a lot of room this year for stuff. It's kind of a crazy year if any of that comes to pass. Mm-hmm. If a couple of them came to pass, it would be insane, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, hell, just even if Zelda comes out this year, it'll be a great year.
I really don't think they're going to let Zelda slip again.
No, me neither.
I hope not. I really want to play it.
The original was, 3 years ago. I think they know that, like, people kind of are getting antsy for that game. Even by Zelda standards, I mean, it's getting up there in terms of weight. So,
and the cool thing with Nintendo, like, they don't always announce things until like a month or two before they're gonna come out. So like you never really know what could be coming this year still.
You can always have like a cool little thing like Clubhouse games again.
Not even a little thing. Like Metroid Dread was announced 3 months before it came out. Paper Mario was announced on a Twitter post like 2 months before it was going to be released.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely hoping for some more releases like that we just don't expect.
Yeah, like there could be a direct in a couple weeks that's like, hey, yeah, Splatoon 3 comes out like in March.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all we know so far is Arceus. Do we even know a February game yet?
No.
Nope, it's just Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Advance Wars, I think, in terms of...
Oh, Advance Wars, yeah. We need that January direct.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed it'll be soon.
Hey, if we get a Shadow Drop, I'm hoping for some Mario Party Superstars DLC boards.
Yes, I would really like that. My family said they were going to get the game, and they still haven't done it, so I gotta push them again on that.
They lied to you. You have to buy
They lied
it
to
for
me.
them. That's the real guilt trip.
No, but I do like that. I would like a few more maps in there. Then I feel like it would pretty much be a perfect Mario Party game. Well, I wouldn't go that far. Okay. A very good Mario Party game. So we're running short on time here. So are there any last games people want to shout out before we head off into the night?
I think that Final Fantasy Strangers in Paradise game is going to be very funny. And I'm excited for that.
I think it'll be a fun game. To me it looks like this gets thrown around a lot, but the gameplay of it looks like a PS2 brawler, but in a good way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. That is exactly right.
Like I'm thinking of also thinking kind of like of the Sega Dreamcast Berserk game. And getting like a little bit of vibes of that. It's like very edgy.
Yeah, sure. That's a very specific example, but sure. I know a game I'm looking forward to. Tomorrow's Wordle.
Everybody's talking about the Wordle. It's gonna come to Switch at some point. We gotta get Wordle on Switch, Wordle on the phone.
Oh god, could you imagine paying for a game that you can only play once a day?
Oh my god.
Oh man, that's the racket, dude.
I have one final game to throw out there. Since it's been trending on the Twitterverse, let's see what the temperature in the room is for Mario Kart 9.
Woo!
I don't expect it. It'd be cool though.
I don't expect anything Mario Kart this year.
No, those rumors are so unsubstantial.
I don't even care about whether the rumors are substantial or not. I just don't expect it.
Yeah.
You could show me like substantiated rumors, and I'd probably still be like, no, probably not.
Yeah. I do love Mario Kart though. I mean, I would love a Mario Kart 9. I'm not gonna lie.
There'll be a Mario Kart 9. I just don't expect it to be on this hardware.
No, I don't think it'll be this year either. It doesn't feel like a Mario Kart year.
It really doesn't.
It's just not with Splatoon also coming out.
Right.
Yeah.
They have a headlining multiplayer game in Splatoon. Like that'll be enough for, carrying multiplayer games.
Mm-hmm. And the beginning of Switch had so many multiplayer titles. And it's kind of shifted a little bit to more single player titles as the Switch has gone on. It's a little bit interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You still get big ones, but at the beginning of Switch, it was like ARMS, Splatoon, Mario Kart. Just like all the multiplayer games like kind of thrown out at once.
Yeah, but now you just have Mario Kart, Splatoon 2, and Smash Brothers, and no one's playing anything else online.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those multiplayer franchises too are kind of just once per generation, like Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, even things like the Mario sports games. We're not going to get another Mario Tennis on Switch, so it is kind of like these are games that usually have long post-launch support in terms of free updates or paid DLC, but you aren't gonna, see new ones crop up, especially near the end of a generation, I think, when, they're probably gonna try and start phasing people over to their next platform. Like, they don't need to launch, a ton of multiplayer games and keep people tied to the Switch till 2026 or whatever, so...
And if they can make Mario Kart 9 a launch title for whatever the Switch successor is, I mean, that's...
Yeah.
Has Mario Kart ever been a launch game before?
No.
I don't think it has.
It's been in the launch, I would say the launch window, like,
maybe for Game Boy Advance?
Mario Kart
that was pretty
64...
close to launch.
Mario Kart 64, wasn't that the first major Nintendo game after the launch? Like, I remember that thing coming out, like, I think it was early 1997, and the N64 launched in, like, fall 1996 with Mario 64. So...
So, like, imagine how many sales that could have if it was a launch title. Like,
yeah.
Like, you don't need any other games.
I mean, why not have it at launch? Mario Kart's gonna sell, it's gonna sell every day that system is alive. Like, from the beginning right until the end. So get it right out at
get
launch.
Get it out as early as possible.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
gets that tail longer.
That was a smart move with 8 Deluxe.
Yeah, they got it out pretty quickly.
It was like,
It's
second
fun.
month or something. They let Zelda breathe for a little bit and then dropped the bomb.
I have one other title I just want to throw out there that I'm personally excited for, which is another open world game. There's a lot of open world games this year, but it's Starfield. I really like those games, and it's another one of those. So I'll be playing that.
I'm just
not too much to say, but I'm excited.
I'm really curious to see what that game looks like. Like, we're less than a year out from launch and haven't really seen too much of it. And I think Bethesda's another company besides Nintendo that kind of plays their cards close to their chest, because wasn't Fallout 4 announced and released in the same year?
Yeah, like 6 months.
Yeah.
I think they only released this one early just because the super bad press of 76, there's like, hey, we have more single player games, we promise.
Yeah.
I really think maybe if 76 did a lot better, that they might not have announced that until last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hopeful that it is a cool sci-fi world to explore and exciting to play.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be a huge game. That's the first, Bethesda RPG since Fallout 4. I think Fallout 4, didn't that come out like 7 years ago or something like that?
2015 or so, I think.
Okay.
15 sounds right, yeah.
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 But yeah, usually they had like a big release like every 3 years, and then that cadence just kind of dropped because they were doing a lot of support on 76 too.
And also those types of games just get harder to make
yeah, they do.
As like the technology gets like more as more is expected from the technology, I guess I should say.
Mm-hmm.
People expect the games to look better. Like Starfield, like the videos they've shown, if that game looks that good and it's the world on the scale that Bethesda worlds usually are, that kind of shit's insane to think about making.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember when, like, if you look at the jump from Oblivion to Skyrim on the same console, it is absolutely astounding, like, how much...
Yeah,
like,
I mean...
how much, like, their technology can improve, like, over, like, a whole generation.
Yeah, sure. I don't disagree with the root of what you're saying, but also the 360 and the PS3 barely ran Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like, I actually kind of find that PS3 port to be unacceptable. When you look at how bad it ran, it's like I can hardly believe they released that.
That's fair.
But yes, but ultimately I understand what you're saying. The Skyrim looks insane. Like, I couldn't imagine a game would look like Skyrim when I saw Oblivion for the first time and was like, wow, Oblivion looks insane.
Yeah, so I'm hoping we can get that kind of wow factor from this one. Fallout 4 did not have that. It just looked like slightly better Fallout.
Yeah.
With some nicer fog.
Fallout would benefit from a more cartoony style, I think.
just stressful how long games take like to make now. Like, I do miss the days where like developers could have like 4 games in the same system.
Yeah.
And now we're like lucky to get like 1 game from some developers per console generation.
And it wasn't even that long ago that you would see like, 3 Uncharteds on the PS3 or 3 Mass Effects, on the 360. Like even 10 years ago they could churn out, trilogies, but now it's just become like, this 4-year series is now becoming like a 6-year development series, like the times are getting longer and longer. So, really it just makes, it kind of has, it's a double-edged sword. It makes people more excited for your game, but it also is going to raise the expectations. Cause like, if you wait, over 5 years or, close to a decade, then people are going to be like, this is the only game, in this series I'm going to get for a decade. It better be amazing. So
Red Dead 2 was the only Rockstar game on the last generation entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Something. So it kind of makes me appreciate what Nintendo does. Like, yes, Arceus does look hideous, but also we get a Pokemon game every year. So
yeah,
I'm willing to deal with those trade-offs sometimes.
Yeah, there's a happy balance, I think. So, do we want to make any final predictions for 2022? Any wild, Final Jeopardy guesses at what happens in the year?
New panel to pawn.
Picross 3D Round 3.
Nintendo Land 2.
Man, we should get Nintendogs back.
Oh man.
Anyways, those are my my Hail Marys. Nintendogs and Picross. Okay, that is gonna do it for the Nintendo Pipeline Podcast 2022 prediction episode, 2022 discussion. You know the deal.
Season 2, Episode 2.
Season 2, Episode 2. You can follow us on YouTube, on every audio platform there is, Spotify, Apple, Google, etc. You can join our Discord. The link to that is on our website, nintendopipeline.wordpress.com. I want to thank James and Gartooth for being on today.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Always a delight.
So have a good one, everyone. Peace out.
Later.
See you guys.